G'day watchers, welcome to Perth WAtch, your horology channel, broadcasting from right here in Perth, Western Australia. Today I have the pleasure to feature a piece from Omega, which is of course a name that really needs no introduction to watch enthusiasts. I'm just going to get right into it. Today's Omegas come in this modern wood box. I really do really enjoy the boxes. It does impute a certain sense of luxury, which is exactly what they intend. So guys, without further ado, let's just flip it around and take a closer look at what we have in here. Alright, here we go guys, the contemporary modern Omega box on the table here. These things are a beauty, but they do not really spin because there's a felt underneath there that increases the friction. So spin rating is just a 1 in my opinion. Okay, so push button release, and there we go. It's a beauty. So the watch sits in a cushion, and then you got spare links and a carry bag there in case you want to use that. Before we go further into this, I just want to show you guys the multi-caliber manual, which is what they tend to come in. This one, thankfully, is actually the very first one. So caliber 8900. You just have to refer to the first illustration, and the instructions are pleasingly simple, and that's all there is to it in terms of time setting and date setting. That's all you need to know. And then the rest of this is multiple other calibers. You can see Moonwatch and whatnot in here, as well as the reference for the pictograms, which I will move on to next. So they come with cards, of course. You probably know this if you have Omega watches. They have this Master Chronometer certificate, and there's a serial number at the back there, which you can look up your particular watch and the testing it's gone through online. So that's pretty cool. Warranty there. And then these are the pictograms, which I want to show you guys. So, just let you see that what we have is automatic, the Co-Axial escapement, cost chronometer, of course. That's manual winding capability. That is anti-reflective coating, AA, on both sides. And then we have time zone function in this watch, 15 bar water resistant. What we have here is 5-year warranty, sapphire caseback, sapphire crystal, master chronometer. Of course, that's really what this watch is. The 15,000 Gauss anti-magnetic rating, and then lastly, silicon hairspring. Okay, so that's the kind of the pictograms, which are kind of a Omega feature, kind of cool, way of representing the nice or unique things about this watch. Okay, so that's it. Let's take the watch out of the cushion here, put the box aside, open this up and show you guys this absolutely lovely piece in closer detail here. So guys, this is of course the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra 150m Co-Axial Master Chronometer. That's what it says on the dial. 41mm to denote the case size. The full serial number or model number at the bottom here, as well as links to product that I can find. Full MSRP is 5,700 USD, but of course nobody should pay full MSRP for Omega. You tend to at least get 15% off, or perhaps even slightly more, depending on your particular dealer, sales, and supply. Okay. As I always do, let's talk first in this case about the movement. And what we have here is the Master Chronometer Omega caliber 8900. Gonna put the stats down the left hand side, 25,200 BPH per hour, which is really what the coaxial from Omega sits at, between the high beat 28,800 and the lower beat 21,600, because it's kind of an intermediate speed, I think, to reduce wear ostensibly, as well as give a longer power reserve. High joule count, 39 joules, and in this case it does have a double barrel, and you can see that denoted on the movement itself. 60-hour reserve is what this gives us. It also has a time zone function, in which case you can adjust the hour hand in 1 hour increments independently and set the date that way. And I'll show you this in a short while. The rated accuracy of master chronometers is 0 to 5 seconds per day. And in this case, it's pretty bang on accurate. It's running between 0 and 1 second plus per day in the roughly 1 month that I've had this watch. So pretty darn good. Okay, other things I'll say about this movement here. Free sprung balance with silicon hairspring, and then it's of course also got the rhodium plated Côte de Genève decoration in arabesque, meaning it's kind of got that wavy pattern rather than straight lines. I will also put some of the general META certified testing conditions here. METAs meaning the bureau that sets the testing standards, and apparently this is just about the most stringent testing you can go for. The things I will note especially is 15,000 Gauss anti-magnetic, so pretty much a true anti-magnetic watch. Just to give you an idea, Rolex Mu Gauss 1000 Gauss, this is 15 times above that, and ISO magnetic resistant rating is actually really quite weak, and this is roughly 240 times the magnetic resistance of the ISO conditions. The other thing I will point out here is the accuracy testing, which of course is fairly stringent in different positions as well as isochronism. All right, so pretty darn fantastic and stringent testing that they go through to give this Master Chronometer rating. All right, so enough about that, all that detail here. Now let's talk about the case. 41mm 3160L steel. The bezel itself, right, is slightly smaller. You can hopefully see it's 40mm. If you measure just the bezel, the case is 41. 13.3mm thickness to the top of the glass there. 20mm lug width, and the lug-to-lug distance between my thumbs there of 48mm. Fairly conventional, I think. With a few links removed, this watch weighs 142 grams on this metal bracelet, which is a fairly comfortable weight. Hefty, you do feel it, but it's not uncomfortable by any means. Okay, let's talk about the finishing. So polish on the bezel. Of course, it's got the circular brushing on the inside of the lugs there. That famous polished knurled bevel, longitudinal on the side, and in this case, it's got circular brushing on the case back, as well as mostly circular brushing on the visible part of that wave design screw down case back that you can see there. So with that screw down sapphire display case back and a screw down sign crown, what you're getting here is the Aqua Terra 150m water rating. All right, now before we move on to the dial, I just want to show you how this is set. So it's going to pull this out, and let's just try to get it to the 10:10 position. So that's the time setting, but you can actually independently, as I mentioned before, set the time. And if I go all the way back to midnight, you can see the date will click backwards. There you go, right? So the date clicks backwards like that. All right, so that's the time setting. I'm going to screw it down right now for whilst I'm behind the camera. So let's talk about the dial here. So what we have is a satin sunburst, muted blue, very nicely muted blue dial with a teak texture. This is kind of like supposed to be the decking of luxury yachts. Applied omega and jewel finished indices. So there's both polish as well as brushing on the indices, which really give nice light play here. It's got rhodium plated, again jewel finished hands, so both brushing and polish on the hands here. An arrow hand for the minutes as well as the seconds. And it's got blue colored lume on kind of all the expected spots, which is the 3 hands as well as the 11 visible indices. I'll put a lume shot here to let you guys see how it looks. It's not the largest amount of lume you'll ever see. This, it does glow through the night, but by the morning, it's actually fairly dim, and you do struggle a little bit to read the time. That's my honest opinion. Okay, so above the dial is a double-domed sapphire crystal with dual anti-reflective coating, and Omega do very nice anti-reflective coating. Sometimes it looks like the glass is invisible and you can almost reach in and touch the hands there. That's really what it looks like. All right, that's the case. Talking about the bracelet then is 3-piece per link style, right? Solid end links, of course, you're not going to expect anything else. And then it's got screw length adjustment. In this case, you actually remove both sides of the screw, and then there's a rod that you have to push out. So it's a bit involved in terms of changing the bracelet if you want to do that. It's got polished middle link and brushing on the sides, and it goes on to polish, on the side surface of the links here. Asymmetric butterfly deployment clasp is what this is. Okay, it closes like this with a push button release. Sorry, you push this side down, and then that closes on top. Okay, so it's slightly asymmetric, but that's what it is. No micro adjustment, unfortunately. Okay, so let's just try it on the wrist for you guys now, and there we have it, the Omega Aqua Terra Seamaster 150m Co-Axial Master Chronometer 41mm case on my 17cm wrist with 48mm lugs, and just to remind you, 13.3mm thickness. It fits very comfortably for me, and I think so far this is the most I guess the watch with the character that suits me most, as I would say, that I have really loved wearing this, and I've hardly taken it off in the last month. Okay, so guys, that's the description of the watch. What are my likes about this? I would say this is currently my ultimate go anywhere piece. It's absolutely beautiful and classy, and it kind of compares well with the Rolex Oyster Perpetual. It's got gorgeous light play on the dial and hands, supremely comfortable bracelet. I say this is so comfortable, an awesome in-house 8900 caliber master chronometer with the superlative meter standards. I really think there's so much to like about this watch. The dislikes, the weaknesses are relatively subjective. I think the lume application definitely less than divers. The arrows, both the minute and second hand can look similar in the dark and therefore be difficult to distinguish. I really feel that. And then no micro adjustment on the bracelet can be slightly annoying to some people. Subjectively as well, I'll say the handset, less than preferred. I probably prefer the handsets where they have the arrow for the hour, and that would make it easier to read in the dark. Really, I do prefer those ones. And in terms of pricing, I'm really not sure why it's more expensive than, say, the Seamaster Professional 300M, which I also reviewed. That's got a tougher construction. It's got the dive features, including helium escape valve, the ceramic bezel, as well as the ceramic dial. And it also has a micro adjustment on the clasp. So I'm not sure why Omega prices this higher than that watch. And on the other flip side, I'm not sure why a Constellation with not really a waterproof watch is actually even more expensive than this particular watch. So go figure, maybe the more kind of dressy it is, the more expensive it is. That's what they have chosen to do. Okay, guys, so there we go. My review of this, excellent watch. Let's flip the camera around now for the wrap up. So there you go, guys. My review of the Seamaster Aqua Terra 150m in 41mm size and the blue dial. It's a watch that I've really enjoyed having on the wrist. A piece that I feel is just supremely versatile. You can take this to the beach. You can even go diving with it, if you will, at least to kind of moderate depths. And you can dress it up all the way to formal, even black tie. I'd probably be quite happy to sport this particular piece. So guys, let me know what you think. One other thing I will say about this piece is that bracelet is just supremely comfortable. It's a match for a Rolex Oyster bracelet, which a lot of people seem to rave about how comfortable those are. I think this is every bit as good. If you own, an Aqua Terra, let me know, your experiences, a particular model that you chose and why you chose it. If you own any Seamaster, let me know why you chose those particular models which you own. Would love to hear your thoughts below. Guys, if you enjoy my videos, do consider subscribing. New content every week, always aiming to be objective and unbiased about all things horology. Thank you again for sticking with me, and as always, I'll catch you guys again next time.